Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations, a weekly podcast focusing on e-commerce topics featuring interviews with prominent people in the e-commerce space.
Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations by Practical E-Commerce. My name is Kerry Murdoch. We've recently asked e-commerce merchants to share their 2011 experiences, good or bad, with us. For this installment, we are joined by Jamie Salvatore. He is the founder and owner of VAT19, an established e-commerce business that sells unique gift items. He speaks with us about how his company fared in 2011. Well, Jamie, thank you for your time today.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Jamie, we always enjoy visiting with you. Of course, you're a blogger, a monthly blogger on our site. We appreciate your insightful blog post. The purpose of this interview is to do a recap of 2011 from for your e-commerce business, your business VAT19.com. It sells unique gifts and gifts items out of your home base there in Missouri. And my first question for you, Jamie, is how was 2011 for VAT19?
2011 was good. We had a great time. We found a lot of really cool products to add to our site. We were able to increase our staff a little bit, which went along with, some healthy increases in sales and profits. So overall, we had a good 2011.
Can you tell us the percent how your business improved without disclosing monetary amounts? Can you tell us the percentage of growth that you had, perhaps in top line revenue?
Sure. Our number of orders went up maybe about 65% over the previous year. Our average order size stayed about the same, and that was able to help us translate into approximately 100% increase in profit over last year.
That is a wonderful accomplishment.
Well, it's they're smaller numbers, so it's easier to make big increases on smaller numbers than really big numbers.
Well, that's a great accomplishment. You mentioned you increased your inventory count, SKU count. What do you disclose how many inventory items you stock there?
Well, everything that we sell on our website, we stock in our facility,
mm-hmm.
and the number of SKUs, I'm not entirely certain. I'm not sure. Let me cut over there for a second. Variations of products such as color or size differences, I'm not entirely sure how many of those we added, but sort of top-level products would probably have been about 120 new items. So we don't add, sort of at this ferocious pace, how many new products can we add to the website? Because we take kind of a different approach in terms of really putting a lot of effort into how we promote each product we sell, in terms of taking a lot of our own photographs, writing our own description, creating a video for almost every product that we sell. That pace of 2 or a little bit more than 2 a week is pretty good for us. And I think that brings us to about maybe 400 or a little over 400 products, top-level products on the site.
I described your products a minute ago as unique gift items. I believe that's the term you use on your site. Give us some examples. Just give our listeners some examples of the type of products you sell, maybe some of your best-selling products.
Sure. Well, we like to call our products, quote-unquote, curiously awesome. And what that means is just exactly what you said, sort of unique gift items, stuff that you might not find everywhere, stuff that is fun, functional, and has that unique gift factor to it, and something that you're going to give to somebody and that person's going to kind of go, whoa, I've never seen that before. That's crazy. Some examples of that, or some of the most popular from this past season, one that was really popular was called the Guitar Pick Punch, and imagine it's sort of a stapler, but you take it to old credit cards or old ID cards, sort of old stuff that's made out of plastic, and you just sort of punch it like a stapler, and it punches out guitar picks. Kind of a wild little product, but I mean, we couldn't keep those in stock. That was crazy. Another product that was super popular was a knitted hat, like a knitted sort of stocking cap, but then it also has a knitted like beard attachment. You kind of have to see a picture of it, but it sort of makes it look like you're wearing a beard. I mean, it's kind of silly. We weren't totally certain when we started selling it if it was going to be popular, and we couldn't keep them in stock. I mean, they just flew out the door. So it's always fun to add new products and not know how they're going to do, and then watch something go kind of crazy on you.
Those are fun examples. You mentioned profits. Profits really grew, 100% profit growth in 2011. Any mistakes, any decisions you made in 2011 that you wish now you wouldn't have made?
Most of the time, the sort of regret is, that really thing that we found out that we were doing well, we should have started that way earlier, or something like that. Or we should have made, more of that decision or something. I can't pinpoint anything specifically where we said, that was really stupid. But more, we came up with some interesting ideas, and I wish we would have started that way earlier. And I can give you a couple examples, sort of. We get a lot of our traffic from YouTube, and I just feel like we should have done more earlier with YouTube in terms of, we started a second channel on YouTube late this year, and we never thought anybody would be interested sort of in the behind the scenes of how we make our videos, and we put up a couple of them, and people were just sort of clamoring, begging for more of that, and so we should have sort of been doing that all along. I also feel like we got into Twitter really late. We just never really kind of bothered with it until, I'm almost ashamed to say, like 4 or 5 months ago, where we started really putting more effort into what we're doing on Twitter. So those are some things that I kind of wish we had done earlier.
You mentioned YouTube, opening a second channel on YouTube. What is that?
Well, we've got a primary channel on YouTube, and there's really no distinction as far as YouTube is concerned between sort of your primary channel and your second channel. That's just sort of something that people, YouTube content creators have sort of created. So our primary channel, it's just a regular channel on YouTube, has all of our product videos, basically commercials for the products that we sell. And so anybody that subscribes to that channel is just being notified when we create new product commercials. Then we created this sort of second channel where we only upload into that channel behind the scenes or blooper reel type of stuff from the product videos that we've created. So if somebody is kind of a fan and wants to know more, or is really interested in what we're doing, they could sort of also subscribe to this second channel and be notified when we create more of those videos. And we're taking content that's sort of already there. I mean, these are bloopers or kind of behind the scenes footage that we already kind of have, and we're being able to sort of create more value there. Fans get, more of a connection with us, and it just allows more people to find us on YouTube, and also, if somebody's searching for something on YouTube that we happen to sell, well, now we have 2 videos that could show up in those results as opposed to just one.
It's an interesting idea. Let's shift gears just for a sec, Jamie, and talk about the sort of the nuts and bolts, the back end of your business. If we could, tell us a little bit about your platform and your order fulfillment process, accounting systems, that sort of thing.
Okay, well, I'll start with the easiest stuff. With accounting, we just use QuickBooks.
Mm-hmm.
For order fulfillment, we actually use sort of a custom piece of software that we made, but it's not that complicated, in addition to some stuff provided by your sort of regular vendors or whatever. So we only right now we only ship via UPS and the post office. For the post office, we use Dazzle by Indicia to print out all of our labels for the post office. For UPS, we use their API. They have a ship API that lets you create your own shipping labels. Mm-hmm. So that's how we create all of our labels. And as far as sort of physically doing our fulfillment, I don't know how detailed somebody would want to know about this, but we just use a batch picking process, which means we take all of our orders and we break them down into sort of manageable batches of 50 orders at a time. And we have a list that has all of the items that go into those 50 orders, pick all of those items off our shelves, put them on the carts, and then from those carts we fulfill each of the individual orders from that batch. Everything is barcoded, so we use UPC barcodes to make sure that the right product is going into the right box. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how we handle the fulfillment aspect of things.
What about your platform itself, your shopping cart?
That was also something that we wrote ourselves, but there's nothing in there that's too that you couldn't find in off-the-cart, off-the-shelf software. Mm-hmm. The only reason we made it ourselves is because I happen to have a background in computer science, and so I just started developing it because when you're starting a business, you don't want to spend money where you don't have to. And back when I was starting, a lot of the shopping carts wanted a piece of the transaction or their fee scaled based on how many transactions you were doing. I didn't like that idea, so I started making my own. But there's nothing that I've really got that you couldn't get from any of the major shopping cart suppliers or even some of the free open source ones.
When did you launch? You referred to back when you launched. When was that?
Well, we started selling stuff online in 2003, but we were selling just a small subset of products and didn't really get into being a full-time e-commerce company until 2007. So there was about 3 years we were selling some stuff online, but our business was also doing some service-based stuff.
Jamie, let's switch gears one more time and talk about marketing for your business. Having read your blog post for us, the E-commerce Corner Office, of course, is the name of your blog. Well, and I think I know some of your marketing ideas. Those are always fun posts to read. But for purposes of this interview, let's talk about marketing. How do you get customers to your sites? What methods do you use to get customers to your sites?
This is the hardest thing to do in the world, is to get people to come to your website. We've probably tried everything, and everything works. It's just a question of how well those things work and how much you have to pay for those things in terms of time or money. Right now, our most effective way to get people to our site is via our YouTube channel and our videos. We found that to work pretty well. But we've also had success trying search engine optimization techniques. Obviously, those are free in terms of money, but not in terms of time. There's a lot of time involved there, and in my opinion, you got to find that point where you just say stop. This this extra 10 hours spent on search engine optimization is going to have like such a tiny effect, and Google might change their mind 3 months down the road, and it will maybe have a negative effect or no effect in the future. So you really got to temper how much you spend on that SEO. You can go nuts. Pay-per-click has been something that we've always done, and it's always worked pretty well. Mm-hmm. The only problem that we've ever found with pay-per-click is that it can't scale enormously well. You can't necessarily command more people to search the terms that are converting well for you. So if you kind of tapped out a search term that's working well for you, how do you increase that? You can't. I mean, you can tweak as much as you want to maybe get some tiny increases in the click-through rate and maybe some tiny increases in your conversion rate, but rarely are you going to be able to tweak that ad text, once it's fairly optimized to the point where it's like, boom, you can double your click-through rate on a pay-per-click campaign. So you got to kind of, we do that, but it reaches a maximum at some point. Also, for us, the type of products that we sell are supposed to be somewhat unique, so people don't necessarily kind of know that they exist. So pay-per-click is a little, it's sort of hit or miss for us. Mm-hmm. Other ways that we get people to our site is, through social means, Facebook and Twitter. Mm-hmm. Facebook, we have a lot of fun with it. It's a fun way to connect with your fan base and all that, but really, you're not going to see a huge conversion rate from Facebook. You're not going to see a lot of people jumping from posts that you put on there that might have a link to your website to then convert. I think Facebook can be a little sort of like people, it's like you just kind of get like sucked into Facebook, and it's hard to pull someone out of Facebook to go really do anything else. They might jump over, look at your page, but really they're Facebooking, so they jump back right away and go back to going through all their wall posts and stuff. So that can be a difficult task to sort of do direct marketing or direct sales through Facebook. So if you kind of know what you can get out of it, then you can have some fun with it, increase engagement with your customers, maybe promote contests or ideas or sales or stuff like that. But it could be really difficult to just sort of view Facebook like it's another Google with another pay-per-click. I know that they have advertising options on there. We've tried their stuff. Conversion rates are dismal. You really aren't going to be able to make a lot of money trying to get your Facebook ads to send people right to your site and get them to buy something. You'll have a little bit more success getting your Facebook ads to get them to like your fan page, but you got to decide how much that's worth paying for.
We've discussed lately internally, Jamie, here at Practical E-Commerce. We've been discussing daily deal sites. We've reported on some daily deal issues recently. Have you tried daily deal offers like a Groupon or Living Social or your own daily deals?
I have not tried any of the daily deal sites, and I don't intend to. I'm not a fan of their business model at all, and I don't think I intend to try. Their concept is that it's a marketing expense or something like that, and in my opinion, I think it's a disaster for a traditional retailer. If you offer some sort of service, a recurring service, I don't know, your massage studio or something like that, I think it could make sense. But from my opinion, Daily Deal site is flawed in a lot of ways. One, it trains people that use your Daily Deal site that your stuff is worth half what it really is. So that person that gets it at a huge discount probably isn't going to come back and pay full price later. Why should they? They got it at half off before. It's also sending a message to your existing customers, your current customers, that has paid full price, that they missed out. And why did they have to pay double? I just don't like that. concept. And then the Daily Deal sort of their pitch is that, well, you get 500 new customers. Those new customers, some percentage of them are going to come back later and buy full price. I don't buy that. And you have now just, if you get 500 new customers, you've probably spent, $5,000 to get those customers. And they're just people that like coupons and getting good deals. So I see no value in it whatsoever. I get offered it all the time, and I turn them all down. I think it's a terrible idea.
Well, we appreciate your views there. What about this year, 2012? What are you thinking about for 2012? Do you have initiatives you're working on, plans that you can tell us about?
Well, our plans are to continue doing the stuff that's been working for us, trying to find the cool products that we think people like, trying to create more videos, increase the frequency at which we turn out our videos for YouTube. There's small little things that we're looking at doing on our website, little features. We're going to add gift cards this year to our website, but there's nothing really fundamental or sweeping that we're going to be changing in terms of our business model. We just hope to do more of what we've been doing, something that no one would see, but something that we're doing behind the scenes is that we're physically expanding our building. We're adding 10,000 square feet of warehouse to our facility so that we can get our fulfillment operations to be even more efficient than they are now, and possibly extend our window, meaning right now if you order by 2 p.m. we ship the same day. We're hoping that maybe we can push that a little later into the day once we've added this space onto our building. So those are some of the things that we're excited about.
Our listeners, as you know, are e-commerce merchants, other merchants. Most of them will not as large as your business. Any parting thoughts for them, Jamie, before we hang up here?
Doing this or any other business is extremely difficult, and there's no magic bullet. In my experience, you just got to keep grinding this thing out, and it's an everyday grind, and you just keep going after it. And my other thing that I think about a lot is don't mimic Amazon. In my opinion, I know that they're the biggest e-commerce store in the world, but they're not an extremely profitable store, despite their huge revenue. So be careful how much you want to copy what they're doing, because if you can't make a lot of money in the billions of revenue, when are you going to? And if you're a much smaller store, you got to think a lot differently than what they do.
Good advice. Well, for purposes of our listeners, we've been visiting with Jamie Salvatore. Jamie is the founder and owner of VAT19.com, a very innovative e-commerce site. That's at VAT, that's V as in Victor, A, T as in Tom, the number 1 and the number 9, VAT19.com. And Jamie Salvatore, we want to thank you for your time today, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
That's all the time we have for this week's e-commerce conversation. I hope you enjoyed it. Please tune in next week for another new episode.